Scissors Crossing. I'd spent a day in Julian, took a 0. Loved Julian. Had a great stay at the lodge, some good food, some Coca-Cola. So just really enjoyed my stay in Julian, and got a ride back today from Legend. There seems to be a pretty good network of trail angels in and around Julian helping hikers, and so that's really awesome. While I was in Julian, I was waiting on a package and it got there just in time today. So I got some gaiters because I just find that this terrain's a lot different than Florida terrain. I keep getting a bunch of dirt and rocks in my shoes. So my sister sent me my gaiters, sent me some new women's boxers. So my pants have been getting slouchy after a few days of not washing them, and then my underwear, don't stay in place. So I thought I'd try some women's boxers and see if I like that. Of course, she sent me some food and stuff too, and so anyway, doing good. I feel refreshed and glad to be back on the trail. Of course, I do have a 1,000-foot climb here in the middle of the afternoon because my shuttle back to Scissors Crossing was at 12. But I'll make it. Just gonna keep doing what I do, just one step at a time, one foot in front of the other, until I get there. So. Hey guys, so I've come 2.1 miles from Scissors Crossing. Coming out of Scissors Crossing, you have a 1,000-foot climb. It looks like over 4.5 miles or something, but it's been really tough. I guess I just keep thinking that it'll get easier, but it doesn't. It gets harder. I still feel like I'm just trudging through molasses, like I'm just dragging. It's been I'm going less than a mile an hour. I've taken 3 breaks. This is my 3rd break since leaving Scissors. And, yeah, that's just really discouraging. Well, it's 4:40, and I left Scissors Crossing at 1:04. I've come 3.3 miles. And it's been a rough 3.3 miles. I mean, my feet hurt, my shoulders hurt. I just feel like I have no energy to come up this hill. I've pretty much, I think, actually finished the climb. I thought it would be a little bit longer, and it does go up and down, and we'll go up about 300 more feet over the next couple miles between ups and downs. But anyway, it's just rough. So I feel like I had to stop, and I was hungry, so making me a Mountain House meal. And I don't know, just gonna see how it goes, if I feel like I can go farther or not. Well, I ate most of that biscuit and gravy Mountain House meal and drank half a bottle of water with electrolytes, so maybe I can make it a little farther here. Well, it's about 10 till 7, and I'm starting to look for a place to camp. I've got about 5 miles since 1 o'clock. So, it is what it is. I just gotta try to get to the next water source, which will be 9 miles from, approximately where I should be camping tonight. So, hopefully I can do that tomorrow. Well, I made it to camp. I did find a pretty good spot to camp in. So, glad to be at camp. Well, I made it to camp and I'm in my tent for the night. I made it to mile 83.1, which is 5.8 miles from where I started today, a little after 1, and I got to camp a little after 7. So, really, for my pace and what I tend to do in a full day, I guess that's not too terrible. But it definitely was a hard day. That climb was awful. My feet are killing me for the first time in the whole hike. My pack is so freaking heavy. When I got to camp tonight, I texted my mom and my sister and them and let them know I made it to camp and I was fine and whatever, like I usually do. And they asked how my day was, and I said, well, it was a rough day. And my mom texted back with a sweet, motivational quote and a picture about overcoming challenges. And for the first time on the trail, I started crying, and I just, today was the first day that I just really wondered why I'm out here, why of all the things I could have done for an adventure, why did I choose this, hiking from Mexico to Canada when I can barely hike a mile an hour up a climb, so part of me just really wanted to go back down the hill and go to Julian and get back in that hotel room and maybe just go home. So, I don't want to be negative, but I do want to be authentic about the fact that, even though I'm trying to stay really positive, this is very hard. And there are a lot of changes that I'm going through, not just the physical, but even being in Julian, I was stressed. I'm not used to not having a car and depending on other people to get somewhere, and just waiting on a package to come in and trying to line everything up and thinking about resupply and planning out strategies for the next couple 100 miles and things like that. Just, it's all stressful. They say don't try to swallow the watermelon, but sometimes you just feel like you have to be out here. So anyway, I don't even remember what day today is, what number day, but it's the first day that I cried on the trail, and I'm sure I'll cry more. And I didn't turn around and go back to Julian. I stayed out here. When my mom sent me that text, I think I started crying because I really don't want to give up. I really don't want to throw in the towel, especially not this early. I want to overcome this challenge. And so, anyway, I'm going to relax in the tent and try to get my mind off all this super heavy stuff and get some sleep, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Well, good morning. I made it through the night pretty well. Slept pretty good, slept pretty warm. Some folks that I knew they were planning the night hike to climb last night. So they left from Scissors Crossing at 5 in the evening and caught up with me. So they came night hiking into camp last night. So Appleseed and Whiskey Mama camped with me, and Charlie, Mike, and Blueberry camped just up the hill. So it's only my second time really camping with people, but I think it kind of helped me get going this morning, hearing other people stirring and starting to cook and take down camp and stuff. So anyway, that was good. I probably should have night hiked that myself, but I think one reason for not quitting on a bad day is because things usually look better in the morning, at least for me, and they do. I mean, I'm hurting this morning, and it's hard to get out of camp and all that stuff, but once I do, and I get on the trail first thing in the morning, I usually feel better than I do today. So that's good. I'm gonna try to hike to the next water source, which was 14 miles from Scissors Crossing, so it's like 8 miles and something from here. And maybe camp there, maybe go a little farther, and then tomorrow I'll come to mile 101, past mile 100, and take a 0 at MVR, Mountain Valley Retreat, which is like a yoga glamping retreat. So that should be fun. So I'm gonna make it, guys. I'm gonna make it. Well, it's just after 9 a.m. and I'm doing pretty good. My feet are hurting less, and my pack's a little lighter because I drank half my water yesterday. So I'm down 6 pounds from when I started yesterday. And the terrain is also a lot easier. It's hot, but the terrain is easier. I don't do too badly on flat sections or descents. It's just those climbs. So anyway, I'm feeling better, kind of renewing my determination as I walk here, and it's gonna be all right. Well, I am 2.8 miles into the day, and I'm taking my second break, but that's okay. I have all day. I am planning to sit out the afternoon heat, take a siesta today for sure, and then maybe night hike tonight a little bit, or twilight hike, maybe not true like late night hiking, but anyway, just planning to basically sit out the afternoon heat and try to go as far as I can today. So I've been hiking a descent for a pretty good while now, and it doesn't take long to learn. The number one law of hiking is what goes down must come up. So I can see it off to my side the next climb. But what is true of that physical aspect of hiking, I think is also true of the mental aspect. If you're down, you just have to trust that you will come back up, and that's how it goes. Well, it's nice and warm out today, so I'm trying the umbrella again. I think it's helping, actually. More and more flowers and beautiful colors. wanted to be stopping for my afternoon siesta, but there's like zero shade, so I've been like pushing on, trying to find a good spot, and no luck yet. So just taking another pack break and gonna go a little farther and see if I can find just any flat spot, even if I'm in the sun. Just give myself some shade with my umbrella, but that's the desert for you. So this umbrella is seriously a lifesaver. So I had a very nice siesta in the shade, and I was so thankful to find a good spot, and probably spent like 2.5 hours waiting out some of this heat. And anyway, I'm hiking on. It's about 2 miles to the water source. It's a water cache. I'm excited about that. I have electrolyte water, but I just want some nice clear water. Then I'm thinking I might go past there to camp, because I think there's going to be a ton of people camping there. So we will see how it goes. As long as there's not any huge climbs, I think that's doable today. I'm loving all this purple. So many pretty purple flowers today. Well, it's better than I thought. It's only 0.4 miles to the water cache. So thank goodness for that, because I'm thirsty. And it is just like brutally hot today. So it's about a little after 6, I think, in the evening, and I just got water from the water cache at mile 91.2. And instead of camping there, I've decided to keep going a little bit. So I've come 10 miles. I'm gonna try to go a couple more, so that'll be less for me to do tomorrow in the heat of the day, because I have to get to MVR by 4 p.m., which is still another 10 miles away. So just gonna try to hike in this cooler part of the evening to save myself a little torture tomorrow. I'm feeling decent, so might as well. But took a break for about an hour. The water cache, hung out in the blueberry, chatted with her and filled up water and rested, waited for the sun to go down some. So good day. So much better. I'm immediately glad I decided to go ahead and keep hiking tonight. It's so beautiful this time of day, and the breeze feels so nice. I mean, I might be sleeping in the wind tonight, but I don't know, it feels worth it right now. These clouds are so beautiful. So, good morning, guys. I didn't film much last night because I got to camp after dark and there were already people camping and stuff. I didn't want to disturb them, but the campsite was full and there was no other campsite on Gut Hook for a reasonable amount of time. And the trail showed a switchback and then climbing up the same way I just came. So I knew there wouldn't be any options. So I tried to make do. And there was kind of a spot like off to the side of the campsite that looked like it could, handle a tent. It was not flat, and it was, there were 3 of these pokey cactus bushes thingies there, And it took me forever to figure out a way to get my tent in between those bushes without landing on one of them. And in the end, I guess I still didn't get close enough or far enough away from one of them because the wind blew the side of the tent up against one of them all night. There's all these little holes in my tent, so I hope I haven't ruined my tent, but that one wall is just full of all these little holes from the wind blowing it into the cactus bush. And speaking of the wind was terrible. One of those nights where you cannot sleep at all. It pulled my guy line for the front 5 times in the night. Had to get up 4 of those times. I got up and fixed it. The 5th time I was just like, whatever, the tent falls down, the tent falls down. I'll just get up and get going because there's no point in this anyway. Yeah, very rough. The wind is just like violent, like hitting, pulling, slapping, biting at the tent, and it's very loud. And anyway, it's just ferocious. So I didn't sleep at all. You know, these days are hard enough without, you know, not being able to sleep. And on top of that, my new little women's boxers that are supposed to prevent chafing have got me all chafed up. And the campsite had all these little splinters everywhere. So there's these little splinters that I can't get out, all in my clothes, poke me everywhere. There's just so many of them, and they're just so fine. I can't, you know, get them all out. I don't even know how they all got in my clothes. I know part of it was hanging out of my tent, trying to fix the guy line, but I thought that was just my arms. But when I put on my actual hiking clothes today, it was like in everything. So it's brutal out here, y'all. It's really brutal. Well, I went about a mile and then stopped to make coffee and grits because I didn't feel like doing it at camp. I just wanted to get up out of there. So now I'm having my breakfast. So when I'm having a hard time, the temptation is to want to like get a rattlesnake. Maybe it wasn't a rattlesnake. But anyway, my temptation is to like try to hurry up and figure this out, you know. What do I need to do to be more comfortable? How am I going to make this work? How am I going to get to Canada? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And so there's a place for that. But sometimes I think too that when you're tired and you're sleep deprived and you're irritable and uncomfortable, you almost just need to go on autopilot and try not to think too much, because when you're in that state, you're just not at your best. It's not really the time to be trying to figure crap out and make decisions. So instead, I'm just trying to think simply today. All I need to do is make it a Paradise Valley, Mountain Valley Resort, mile 101. That's all I'm trying to do. Now, this is pretty cool. Hey. Well, luckily the terrain's gotten a lot more coasty. It's pretty much downhill until I get to 101, which is where I'll go to MVR. So that's a nice break. That was a climb up. That'll be a doozy. I'm at mile 99.2, 7.8 miles. I've walked 100 miles on the PCT, and it's been a rough few days, but that's gonna feel good. After a tough stretch, my 0 at MVR was just what I needed. I shared the time with 4 wonderful lady hikers who really encouraged me, and the 2 incredibly gracious hosts at MVR, Sherry and Lynn. Once again, the trail provides, and I am still in the game. Thank you guys for watching and for all your kindness and support.